Hey everybody, it's Randy with Carchaeology, and I've got a project here that I started a couple of years ago that I've really not gotten very far with, and I'm thinking it's time to cut it loose. This is a 1962 Austin Cooper, and I'm going to do a walk around here so you can see what the car is all about. So, obviously, this is a Mini, but it's not just any Mini. This is actually an early car. This is a 1962, and it is an original Austin Cooper 997. So, this is pre-Cooper S, but this was one of the Cooper cars. Austin Cooper logo here on the back, as you can see. It also says Austin Cooper on the front emblem up front here as well. And it's not just there by name and number plate there. Looking at the numbers on this actually comes up as a genuine Cooper 997. Now, this is a North American import car, which is pretty damn rare for early on there in Austin's history. I think there were just a little over 600 of these cars built in 62 for export to North America. Left-hand drive, obviously, and it came out here to the West Coast, and that is evident in its condition. British cars are known to rust like crazy, and this thing is phenomenally solid. Even underneath in areas that are prone to rust, like the battery box, this thing is sound. Check that out. Now, I don't think I've ever seen a Mini that has its original battery box, and the rest of the body goes along the same way. You look down underneath, the floors are spectacular, super solid, and that is a huge part of the cost and trouble of restoring a vintage Mini. So this one is a great find for somebody to take on and to restore. Plus, it comes with a whole bunch of extras. Now, I will say that the block that is in here, which is a 998 engine, is not the original engine to the car. However, I do have another engine block in my shed, along with some other parts, including the dual carb manifold that was original for the 997. It's got the factory disc brakes, which was also a Cooper item there. I don't know if you can see those up in there. And again, it is a rock solid original car that is just ripe for restoration. Now, another fun thing about this car is the paint color. Now, obviously, it's been painted kind of a bronze color, and a couple people have noticed this in photos that I've posted up. It's actually the same color of the Mini that Steve McQueen had. His was the same bronze color, but had a cream color top and a rag top, and was modified. Now, that was a little bit later car. That was a Cooper S. This is just a Cooper. But again, this was the hot Mini for its time. This was before they did the Cooper S. And again, 1962. So this has the external hinges on it. It's got the sliding windows, and inside it's got the real simple dashboard. This thing obviously is a bit of a mess on the inside. It's got a racing seat on the driver's side. I managed to find some early Mini seats. I believe these are from a Morris, not Austin, so it's not the original material, but it is the same frame for the stock Mini seat. So I've got a pair of those. I've got the overriders here for the rear bumper. I've got the ones for the front. I've got some extra pieces as well. The aforementioned engine block and other stuff. There's some vintage speed equipment as well that came with it. This car was rallied on a local level here in Southern California. It looks like there's some new old stock bits there as well. And again, the floors are just rock solid in this car. And so it is a perfect one to build and run. You can see it's got some cool kind of period stickers on it. Under the, or in the boot here are some more treasures as well. Some books and literature, as well as some other parts and things like that. It does look like the original color of this car was red, which is another big selling point when it comes to these things. Finding an original red car, especially an early Cooper, not something you're going to see very often. Underneath all this stuff, the trunk is really solid. Again, a really rare find for an early car like this. The roof also is super nice on it. I'll open up this door here. You can see this cool little racing seat, a Corbeau racing bucket that's in there. You can see that the steering column was dropped down just a little bit to allow for that seat to be a good fit. For me, it's a little tight. I think putting the stock buckets back in there is a good idea. It does have a roll bar that was put into it. I don't have a back seat for it, but I've got pretty much everything else. Key is in the ignition, and I've got a clean California title for it. This was a California registered car. It is the old style pink slip, but it is a California title, so you can prove that the car was here. And obviously, looking at the vehicle itself, you can see it has lived a good life in a dry climate, which we certainly have around here. In any case, I've got this car listed up for sale on Facebook Marketplace. I'm pushing it some other places as well. I do want to point out the Dunlop alloy wheels on it. Those are super cool. I've also got some stock steel wheels for it, which I was planning on using for the car. But if somebody really wants those Dunlops and wants the steel ones, we can work that out as well. Let me pop the hood here and I'll show you what we've got going on in the engine. So the engine that I've got in here is a 998 engine that I bought from a guy locally that had pulled this out to do a Honda swap on his Mini. Now, it's not the original engine for this car, but I've been told that it is a runner and it is quite complete. It's a single carb model. I've got the carb there, but it's not bolted up. I've got the radiator for it, but that's not hooked up. All the wiring and stuff needs to be hooked up to this motor. Brakes will need to be gone through, of course, but I do think that with reasonably little effort, this thing could be on the road again. Ideally, the original engine would be the one that gives it the most value, but you got to do the best that you can with what you can. Looking at the numbers here, you can see all the tags are in place here. Anybody that is into these can look those up. I did have somebody that is a part of a registry for these early Cooper cars contact me. He told me the production date of this car, when it first shipped, and that it was indeed a car that was shipped to North America, and that it is a genuine 997 Cooper. So in any case, it's a bit of a project. These cars are highly prized. Minis obviously have a huge following and are incredibly fun cars to drive. But for collectors trying to find a good first generation Mini, and especially something with the Cooper provenance and that sort of thing, definitely adds an awful lot to it. So I've got this thing advertised locally. I've been asking $12,500 for it. Maybe that's a little high, maybe it's not. I've probably got that much in it, if not a little more. But the goal is to find it a home. I've had some idiots say that I'm totally nuts. I had a guy offer me $3,200 for it, and I laughed in his face. I had another guy send me a note and then ghost me immediately, block me, saying that, ooh, you know what you've got, ha, 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 or something like that. So that's Facebook for you. I hate Facebook Marketplace and the jerks that come out that just want to talk crap because they've got nothing better to do and have no interest at all in purchasing your car. So I'm going to throw this out on the YouTube, see if there's anybody out there that is interested in this machine. I'll post up a few photos of some of the parts that come along with it as well. And, well, maybe somebody out there will want to take this project on. And I'm a little bummed about not finishing it. You know, I take on these cars, I get excited, and I think I'm going to build them. But if I haven't touched this thing in 2 years, well, then obviously the motivation isn't there. Once I got that Wolseley Hornet, and I've been driving that around, I've got my Mini fix. I'm enjoying blasting that little car around, and I don't need to put the time, money, and effort into this one. So if I can let it go to a new owner, somebody that's going to take it, love it, build it, and turn it into the dream car that it really is, it is the ultimate basis to start with. So in any case, spread the word, spread the video. If anybody out there is interested in this car, you know how to contact me. You can comment through the comments below. You can go to Carchaeology.com and reach out through the messages there, or you can find me on Facebook or Instagram or wherever and reach out. I'd love to work a deal with somebody on this so I can clear this car out and make room for the next one, because the next one is always my favorite. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Keep on digging them up and driving them. Bye-bye. Bye.